Hey everyone, I'm here with my May wrap up and I only read a total of 11 books. I wanted to read more, but I was on hiatus and I had a tiny little reading slump. It's kind of hard to get through those, and Netflix didn't help much because I was watching it constantly. So 11 books is not bad, but I wanted to make it higher. First one here is Happy Again by Jennifer E. Smith. This is a novella from This Is What Happy Looks Like. It just shows a little extension of the two characters' main relationship, and it was nice to get back into their world and how they're doing. I thought it was really cute, but didn't really add much to the previous story, so I gave this one, I think, a 3 or a 4. This is City of Savages by Lee Kelly. This is a post-apocalyptic dystopian standalone novel, which I was really happy about, so I didn't have to wait. I was kind of surprised that there was a little bit of like a cult theme going on in here, so I thought it was written well. I thought the characters were fully developed. There was a lot of backstory between the two sisters and the mother, so I thought that was really cohesive, and it was strong, but it wasn't too memorable, so I think I gave this one a 3 out of 5. This is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I know the author, I just never knew she wrote this book, The Bell Jar, and I saw Gilmore Girls episode where Rory is basically reading this, and I was curious enough to go and check it out. They had it at the library on Overdrive, and I read it, and I think it was like 2 sittings. It was just a really quick read about this woman who is undergoing mental illness, and the main protagonist is just so, she just goes through this change, and I thought it was just so thought-provoking, and I can tell why this is a classic. I gave it a 4 out of 5. This is Very Good Lies by J.K. Rowling. This is her Harvard commencement speech. I actually watched that one and commented on it. I love the fact that it's a book. She's very inspirational, and I'm pretty sure lots of people will be giving this away for graduation gifts. If you haven't read it, go and check it out. It's really quick. It's a really, really inspirational read, and anything by her this woman writes, I will buy. A Walk on Earth, A Stranger by Ray Carson. If you guys don't know, I really, really loved her Girl of Fire and Thorns trilogy. Her writing just speaks to me. It's like I'm planted into her world and I just stay there. I pretty much read this in about 3 to 4 sittings. It was that engrossing. I just really, really love her strong characters. Are always independent, strong feminists, and this one was not the exception. She is still a big feminist, and it just made me really, really proud to be a woman. Even though this was set in the gold rush era, I thought the whole magical aspect of the main character having this sense of, she seeks out gold basically, so she's like this gold detector, and her family is just, I don't want to spoil anything, but basically things happen and she's on the run from someone. So that's all I'm gonna say, but I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. And this one is The Novice. This is Summoner Series Book 1 by Taran Matharu. This one I had trouble placing. It kind of reminded me a lot of, I want to say Victoria Scott's Fire and Flood series with Pokemon, and like it's a boarding school aspect, and I thought there was going to be this epic storyline, but I thought it felt flat. It wasn't really telling a story. It was more like showing, so I had trouble with it. It was really kind enough to send me this copy, and I told him that it wasn't just my kind of book, but I will have my review up by the end of this month. I think I gave this one a 2 or a 3. So this is The Wrath and Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. I'm sorry, that's your name right there. This was one of my most anticipated reads. I really wanted to love this one. But again, I had a problem with it because it was doing a lot of showing and not a lot of telling. There is the plot in there somewhere, but I just felt it dragged on for so long, and I guess I know why a lot of people like it. It's really a romance, and I mean, I'm fine with romance. It's just there needs to be something else on top of it, and I thought there would be action and adventure and a journey, and there wasn't too much of that. Her writing is very well done. It's just, yeah, I had some issues with all of those other things I mentioned. I give this one a 3 out of 5, which I'm really sad because I wanted to love it. This is, oh gosh, I'm gonna butcher the title, but there it is, by Jill Alexander Essbaum. This was a really interesting read. The main character isn't very likable. I had trouble relating to her, but in a way it's because she's so vulnerable, and it was just so sad and depressing, and I didn't know that this book was gonna be this crazy depressing. I don't know if I would have picked it up because of that, but there's it's basically a housewife who is bored with life, and she ends up having a lot of lovers. So there are some, you know, PG-13, there's some sex in it, and I wasn't really surprised that there'd be in this one, but it was just another thing that I have a problem with. It was more showing instead of telling, and I kind of wanted to drop reading this at one point, but I just kept going. The ending did get really good, but yeah, that damn ending. Sigh. I gave this one a 3 out of 5. And The Lost by Paige Morgan. Now, I love Paige's writing. She has a way of transforming her world and just making you forget about reality, and she does this really well. I really love this series. I think it's one of the most underrated series out there. It's about gargoyles and angels and set in Victorian London. That's basically how I can describe it to you, and I loved it. It's just, it has like the whole, you know, love triangle and lots of obstacles between the two main characters. I don't even know which team I'm on anymore. I'm basically on what's her name, Ingrid's team. So yeah, I loved it. Things move forward from this one, and I am so glad I had the last one. I give this one a 4 out of 5. This is Awakening by Shannon Duffy. I really enjoyed this one. This has one of my most favorite kind of dystopian world buildings, and I thought it was pretty realistic, to say the least. I thought like the whole dystopian government was just kind of insane, and I liked reading this one. I just felt that there was more romance. Again, I always have trouble with that, so I took down a star for that. It is a 3 out of 5 for me. So basically this book, I know I don't even have to say the title because everyone knows it. This was for book club with the GTA girls, and we decided that for this one I was really excited. I really enjoyed this one. It's told in dual perspective, so we get a more overall storyline, and I liked it. I mean, I know it could be really draggy at times, but the whole thing that she set up and the fact that they go to a boarding school, I really like that aspect, and that there is, you know, things that happened. I really liked it. I don't know what to say without spoiling it. So basically, Leia is a slave, and she is one of those free slaves, and she tries to find her brother who kind of disappeared. I think there's a trend in books now where your brother disappears and you have to go and find him, because that happened in Blood Red Road, and then there's this one again. So basically her whole mission is to go and find her brother. I can see why a lot of people really enjoy this. Her writing is very fluid, and it's just those chapter cliffhanger endings that really got to me, and it made me finish this at like 3 a.m. in the morning. That doesn't happen to me often because I really did want to find out what happens. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. So that's it for me this time around. I hope you guys are glad I am back. Yes, I am back on BookTube. So hopefully I will get more videos other than hauls and wrap-ups, because I know those get really, really boring. I still have to finish filming my updated bookshelf tour, and that's taking a long time. So yeah, until next time, bye book nerds.